Hey everyone, and welcome to another exciting MacWhisperer live broadcast. I'm Frank, I'm your host for today, and as always, we're thrilled to have you here. Are you drowning in a sea of digital photos? All your precious memories hidden away on your iPhone or your Mac? All those holiday images that you took over the last week or so, New Year's Eve? Or maybe you're struggling with storage issues that make it hard to keep up with your favorite pictures. Well, today we're here to help. We're going to help you declutter, organize, and transform those photos into stunning keepsakes. Photo books, calendars, slideshows, and more. I'm looking forward to this because I love to be creative. In this session, we're going to show you how to reclaim your space and creativity while simplifying your digital photo workflow. Plus, as always, stick around. We have a MacWhisperer Power Tip, solution to back up your photo books and save big on reprints. And don't forget, downloadable smart guide today. Today's smart guide is all about iPhone camera and photos. So be sure to stay tuned for that. As always, engage. We're here to hear you guys. We're here to take this live to the next level. So please use the chat. Let us know where you're from. Tell us a little bit about your holiday. It's been a week. Seems like forever that we were not here last week. Good. Excellent. Thanks for everybody starting to chime in. So we're going to be decluttering and organizing your photos, cleaning up that library, and create albums. We're going to be creating or showing you how to create stunning photo books, keepsakes, as I said, and MacWhisperer tip. And I miss Dylan. Let's bring him in here. Where's he at? There he is. Happy New Year, Dylan.
I'm here. Happy New Year, Frank. Happy New Year, everybody. Glad to have you here. We've got some fun stuff to talk about today. I love getting into this photos work.
Absolutely. I was just saying, you probably heard me. It was only a week that we haven't done one of these, but it seemed like forever. Yeah. A lot jammed during the holidays. Yeah.
So I can see what you're doing here. Perfect.
What are we doing now? Computer today? We doing a phone? You want to talk for a little bit? Address everybody? What's up?
Yeah, let's just get ourselves kind of situated and set in. Here's the first thing that I want to talk about. We take billions and billions of photos every day. Not you personally, but there's over 4 billion iPhone pictures taken every day, which is an insane amount when we think about those of us that are old enough to have pre-digital cameras. I'm one of those people. I took film school. I took a Photoshop in high school. I learned how to print photos. And back in those days, you'd go on a vacation with a roll of 24 pictures. You take 12 pictures on your entire vacation. That one roll of film would last 6 vacations. Because, you only took a couple and they were super expensive to print and usually they were crappy. And then you'd take those photos and you'd stick them in a shoebox and you'd stick them in a closet and you'd never, ever, ever look at them again. Not until somebody died or you needed to search for some old picture of something. And the digital photo revolution transformed everything about taking pictures except our bad habits. We're still mentally dropping our pictures in photo boxes and shoving them in the back of some closet in our computer system. Oh, God forbid we organize it. Oh, God forbid we could find stuff. No. Just pile them up. 4 billion photos a day. Amazing. Sure, there's not going to be any problems with that, right?
No.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about just me and photos in general. Like I said, I took photo class in school. My father was a film director. I've become the de facto chronicler in my family, which means if I don't take out my phone and take pictures, nobody remembers anything that happened at any of these events because nobody else takes pictures but me. So I'm capturing 400, 500, 600, 1,000 pictures at these events, and I got a pretty decent sized family. So in the last month, between New Year's, my dad's birthday, which happens to be on New Year's Day, Christmas, my birthday in November, Thanksgiving, my daughter's baby shower, I've captured 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 photos in the last 30 days, and I know where they all are. And not only do I know where they all are, which is in and of itself a miracle, I don't let them be passive. I want you to think about your photos for a second, right? People take pictures and then what? You look at them on your phone once in a while, you kind of scroll through, you're like, oh, I'm going to dodge all those screenshots in my photo library to look at that one picture I took 3 days ago. Or maybe you want to print them out. You like wish you had them on your wall or something like that. But most people, they take all these pictures and they just sit there, passive. I'm not that guy. I'm just not that guy. What I did, my dad turned 85 years old yesterday. Happy birthday, Dad. Happy New Year. Happy birthday, Dad. And we had a huge family get together with all of his friends, my family, and I put together a photo booth. So if you've ever been to a party where there's been like a really cool photo booth with like props and all those kind of things, they're really, really easy to do if you have an iPad. Really easy to do. And so all of my holiday events now, I set up my iPad on a nice little stand and we have little, photo booth props and things like that. And it allows you to take even more pictures. In addition to setting up that photo booth, I also, on the car ride over, about an hour drive. It's not like a 5-hour drive. It's like an hour drive. I wasn't driving, just for clarity. I put together an entire photo slideshow of all the pictures I have of my dad over the years and played it off of his Apple TV, right in the house, music and everything. All done on my way in there. But while I was there, I captured another 1,000 photos. So I'm going to put together a photo book and we're going to see me do parts of it in real time today because I want you to know this stuff isn't hard. Yes, you need to have better habits. You need to organize your photos a little bit better. You need to be able to find things. You need to have fun things like the photo booth itself to be able to take pictures without you having to be in front of the camera all the time. But once the pictures are taken, if you don't do something with them, you might as well stick them in the closet with grandma's old china set. Your photos should be a part of your life. So that's what we're really going to get into today, is how to take and transform your photos from something that sits there to something that brings you into the moment, brings you back to the moment, and gives you the connection to all the people that you took the pictures of in the first place.
That's great.
That's my pitch. How are we doing?
Nah, it's awesome. I can't wait to see it. As usual, I'm going to learn something. And everybody else. So what do we do?
It was fun to be at this. It was fun to be at this party yesterday because it was like as I walked in and people were like, "Oh, look at the photo slideshow. That's really cool. That's probably really. Oh, look, there's a photo booth. Oh, somebody's taking pictures. Oh, this is happening. That's happening." And then by 10 o'clock this morning, I'd sent out the shared photo album and I've got my book ready. I'm not sitting on this stuff.
Love it. So we're bringing up the computer. Visual?
Yeah, let's bring up the computer. Let's get ourselves in there. I'm ready when you are. Stephanie is in the house. I see that. Marilee, welcome. Welcome. Thanks for being a member. Elizabeth, glad to have you here from Colorado. David, nice to see you as always. James, welcome. Welcome. Nice to have you in here. Good to see you guys. Be noisy in that chat. Bug Frank the whole time I'm talking. Tell him about your dogs or your whatever you... Fill that chat up so that you keep him busy. Otherwise, he's going to have to learn stuff. We don't want him learning stuff. It's dangerous. All right. So we're going to break this down into essentially 3 steps. The 4th step will be our power tip and the final piece, but we're really going to focus on 3 steps. Step number 1 is get organized. So getting organized comes down to 2 separate pieces. We're going to start first by opening up my Photos app right here on the computer. You can do this on the phone, you can do this on the iPad, but it's way better on the computer, and the photo book tools exist only on the computer. So if you are not taking advantage of the fact that your computer syncs with your phone and your iPad via iCloud, this is your wake-up call. It's better when everything syncs. It's simpler. So here we've got my photo library, and I'm just going to kind of just show you for a moment. Here I am in my photo library. You can see there's almost 70,000 pictures here. There's a ton of stuff. If you haven't watched any of my videos about how to get organized with photos, I'm going to give you the basics, but most of that's in these other YouTube videos and other classes that we've taught. Essentially, when you're inside of your library, you can sort it by years, months, or all photos. Those are across the top bar there. If you are looking at your photo library and you do not see that left sidebar, you want to make sure that your window is wide enough to show that sidebar. That sidebar on the left is critical for everything that we're going to get into today. As you look through this, you can obviously find the specific dates of what you're working for. If I take this little dial up at the top, I can resize the pictures to see more or less at a time. That can really help when you're grabbing your first images. So step number one is we want to create an album of the pictures from the event that we're going to create the photo book for. So for this example, we're going to use yesterday's 85th birthday of Dad. Happy birthday again, Dad. And I'm going to come into the beginning of where these pictures started. I actually know exactly where they are because these ones that you see across here are me test driving the photo booth while driving. That's the end result of my while driving photo booth test. So this is where the actual things are going to start. One of the most valuable tools on the Mac is learning how to select multiple items. So 3 ways to do it. I go over these 3 ways regularly, but I think it's really important for people to lock these in. So even though I should say, hey, you guys already know how to do this, I'm not going to assume that. This is one of the questions I get asked more than anything else. How do I select multiple items? There's 3 ways. We're going to talk about it very quickly here. The first one is when they're in a row. So a row, if we see this image that I've got over here on my right side here, that's the beginning of the row and it goes across to the right and then continues on the next row down. So a row can continue like the way we read. So if I want to take every picture from this one that's clicked all the way down to this one of my brother-in-law, I click on the first image, hold the shift button on my keyboard and click on the last image. And you'll notice that it connects the dots between all of those separate photos. I'm going to make these a little bigger so you can kind of see what I'm doing better. And you can see here that that one's highlighted in blue going all the way down. The second way to select multiple items is when they're scattered. So let's say I only wanted the photo booth images. I don't want the in-between images. I'm going to click on the first one, but this time instead of the shift button, I'm going to hold the command button down on my keyboard. And while holding it, I can click each of the separate photos that I want. And you can do this not just in photos. The same tool works in email. It works on your desktop. It works in Dropbox. It works in music. The ability to select multiple items in a row by using the shift or when they're scattered by using the command button is a universal tool. It's what I call a foundation block. The third way that you can select multiple items is when they are grouped together. So let's say that I want to grab these 6 pictures here. They're not in a row, they're scattered, but they're also all kind of together. So to do that, you create a lasso. Creating a lasso, you put your arrow above and to the left of the first image, press and hold your mouse down, your trackpad, whatever it is, and drag diagonally. I see a lot of people that do it this way. They'll click and then they'll go to the right. And then they'll go slowly down and all be done 3 days before them. Don't let it be precious. Click in the upper left-hand corner, go diagonally to your right. Easy. So those 3 ways can help you select multiple items. Now for this case, we know where this event begins. It begins right here, and I'm essentially going to take everything all at once and build that album. So I'm going to scroll all the way down. It's almost the end of the photos. We're going to go right here. I'm going to hold my shift button and grab that. I have selected 220 photos. Now I'm going to create an album by right-clicking. If you don't know how to right-click, on the mouse, it's the right side of your mouse. On a trackpad, what you do is you take 2 fingers and you click them simultaneously on the trackpad. A lot of people don't know that there's a right click on the trackpad, so it's important to know that right click is valuable. So down here we have this option to add to, and I'm going to come up to the top and I'm going to choose new album. If it's more than 100 pictures, it'll confirm that you meant to do that. I meant to do that. It was not an accident. And it builds me a new album on the left side. I'm just going to call it Dad's 85th. Step 1, create your album and put the majority of the pictures you want into that album. Step 2, I should clarify this. There are 3 parts. This is part 1. So part 1 is organizing. You picked your pictures, you've added them to an album, and now you're going to go through that album and you're going to get rid of the junk pictures. Be aware that right now my album is organized by newest on top and oldest on bottom, which doesn't make sense for the way I do things. So I'm going to click View, and under Sort, I'm going to change it to oldest first. What that means is here's the beginning of the event. You can tell because the sun hasn't set yet, and it goes all the way down as it gets later in the evening. From here, you're going to come in and you're going to clean up any obvious bad pictures. Like I don't need this picture of the fingers showing up. That's a little weird. I think I'm going to take those pictures of Juliet out of this image here. As I scroll down, I'm going to find the ones I like. Those are kind of duplicates, so I'm going to get rid of one of those. Let's get rid of that one. I'm just doing a quick job of it, but that's really one of your first tasks is to get rid of any pictures that you know you don't want to see in this album. I don't need to see any of these sunset pictures here. Oh, a little slow, because that's not what it's about. And you clean up your album in this way. You can also organize things, put them in a proper order. But if you're doing it chronologically, it kind of tells the story of the beginning of the event to the end of the event anyways. However, you might want to remove any pictures. This is your moment to do that. I don't need this picture of my mom with her back turned. You can easily come in, get rid of the junk, simplify. That's a weird picture. Okay, once you've done that step, you've created your album and you've done the basic cleanup. The next thing that you want to do is download the app that you're going to be using to create this photo book. Now, for clarity, there are like 999 billion ways to create photo books. Most of them are through websites like Shutterfly or a Blurb. And I have no problem with using a website tool. But if you have a local application, it's always going to be better than the website, especially with Apple products, because a local application, something that I actually download to my computer, can connect to my photo library. A website's going to require me to take things out of the photo library, put them on my desktop, and upload them up to the website, which is time-consuming and clunky, and your internet connection is super important. So if you don't have a great internet connection, you're going to make this project take 3 days because you're doing it on a website. I recommend using tools that are built in to work with the Apple Photos app. So I'm going to come to the App Store here, and I'm going to do a quick search for Photo Book. You'll find a ton of photo books down here. Mimeo is the one we're going to be using today. Canva can also do it, although it's not quite as integrated as I'd like. There's Presto Photos, there's Motif. I used to really like Motif, but Motif got bought by Mimeo this year, so they're kind of two flavors of the same website now. They're very similar, but Mimeo's been getting more updates than Motif because I think they'll phase it out in the next year. The Milk books are also really good. There's a bunch of ones that you can find. You can play around and see what you like. I'm going to work with the Mimeo one. It's generally a free price to download these. The way they make their money is by you buying the book from them, which we'll talk about in a moment. It used to be that all of this was done in-house by Apple, but those days are long gone. So once you've added and downloaded your photo book, you're ready to get into part 2, phase 2 of this project. So I've already done Mimeo. It's already downloaded. You can see that it says open right here. That's a good way to know that you've got it already on your computer. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to set it up. It just needs to be installed. So Frank, this is a great moment. If we have anything we want to talk about or share, this is our great little break moment before we get into phase 2 here.
Yeah, absolutely. Always something more to talk about. There's a couple of people that are posting that they became members today, which is
Nice.
terrific. Yeah.
Incidentally, we can always tell a member, Frank, because they've got that fun little Apple icon to the right of their name. And what most people don't know is that the longer they stay a member, the riper that apple will become until it's red, and then we'll probably upgrade to a rainbow colored one or something like that. That's one of the little perks of being a YouTube member. So welcome, glad to have you here. Leah, fantastic. I want to talk about the YouTube membership for a second, Frank. Will you pull up our QR code for that?
Yeah, let's do that.
I may be premature, but I'm jumping into it.
No, I think it's perfect.
What I do here for you guys in these live videos and in the videos that I post to my YouTube channel is I'm trying to teach and inform how to use Apple technology, how to not be afraid of your tech and start to really love what you can do with it, learn the new tips and learn the new tricks. I love what I get to do for YouTube, but I also have a day job. And as a result of that, it's hard to find the time to focus as much as I'd like to on YouTube. We've had an enormous amount of growth this year. We've added almost 40,000 members during last calendar year, which is an amazing amount considering I'd been doing this for 4 years before last year. So it's been a lot of growth, but the best part about it is this membership of the YouTube channel. This is a way that you can help sponsor what we do here by supporting us with a level from $1 a month all the way up to $20 a month. I appreciate every one of you. Even if you're just on the dollar plan, I'm grateful. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for helping what we do. We did our first members only live stream last month in celebration of 50,000 subscribers. And we had a blast. We had a great time. It was a little bit more informal than what Frank and I do. We just asked questions, had conversations. I did a little bit of teaching. I will be doing more of those member only live streams. So if you like what we do here and you want to get more personal, ask questions, find more information out about what we're talking about here, consider joining the YouTube membership. You can see the QR code on the screen here, and there will be more and more perks as we continue to build. I believe we're over 40 members at this point, and I'd love to hit 50. I'd love to hit 100. It's less about the money that gets made from that. It's more about my ability to support you in a deeper and a better way. So that's the YouTube membership thing. You can always join it. You can also send they call it a super thanks. If you watch one of my videos and you really like it, but you don't want to pay monthly, you can just give me $1, $5, or $10 just to say thank you for that video. And that works the same way.
Take myself off mute. Perfect. I'm going to put the link in the chat in a moment. And yeah, got a bunch of.
Mel asks. I'm just going to answer this question because I see it here. Mel asks.
I was just going to say there's a bunch of questions coming in. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to let you manage them, but I'm going to grab this one.
Yeah, sure.
Mel asks, why did Apple discontinue the photo books? And the answer is because Apple is spread so stupid thin, it's ridiculous. They weren't making any money on it, and there are 99 other people that want to do it and want to do it better, and maintaining a tool like the photo book tool requires resources that Apple would rather put towards their phones, their computers, their other operating systems. It's been about a decade since Apple did it, and it really paired in when we left iPhoto and went to the Photos app. They dropped it. But they dropped it because the Photos app has an extension capability, which means that third-party apps can do it for Apple. So it's not like we're losing anything. In fact, I actually think there's better tools now than when Apple was doing it themselves, because you've got options and different ways to manage it depending on which of these separate apps you use. As I said, Mimeo is kind of my go-to. I think it's fast, it's easy. We're going to talk about it in just a moment. But don't really get frustrated about the idea that Apple isn't doing it. It's not a bad thing. It's just the way it is. And Apple charged money. These companies charge money. I think it's about the same price as Apple charged. So it's really a lateral move. You're not losing anything. You're gaining options. Peter, welcome. Glad to have you on as a member. Thank you, my friend.
Peter
and I need a conversation. He's on my list to talk to this week. I've been trading emails with him. We're going to make that happen.
I've been talking to a bunch of the members. Everybody's getting really excited. The membership's growing, and maybe we'll talk about that in a little while. You want to get back to subject at hand?
Let's get back into it.
All right. Bring the computer back up. Here we go.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so here we've got, bringing you back to where we were after our commercial break. This is phase 2. Phase 2 is the creation of the book. So in phase 1, you got organized, you put things into a photo album, you cleaned up the photo album. And you downloaded the app to do the photo book. Now we're going to make the photo book. Now, here we have on my left side my dad's 85th album that we just created together. I'm going to right click on it. And under that right click, you're going to notice this create section. There's all sorts of things that you can create. You can see books, calendars, cards, wall decor, prints, slideshows, and other. To the right of each of these sections, you're going to notice any apps that support that. So you can see Mimeo does books, Mimeo does calendars, Mimeo does cards, wall decor, prints, etc. So that's why I consider it my go-to, because it kind of covers everything. We're going to slide over and we're going to click on Mimeo Photos here. What that's going to do is it's going to take the 200 pictures we put into this album and build them into a book. It shouldn't take more than a couple of moments. Now, first question you're going to get is, what kind of book? Do you want a lay flat book? Do you want a hardcover? Do you want a soft cover? I kind of like the lay flat books. I've been playing around with them a little bit, so I'm going to stick with that. You're welcome to change this. You can change it at a later time too. As I click the next button, you get the second option. This is what size book do you want? 13 by 10, 11 by 8.5, 10 by 10. Each of these different sizes have different layouts and templates. I'm going to stick with the lay flat 13 by 10, and I'm going to click the create button. Now it takes a moment, it grabs those pictures, and it immediately drops me into the theme section. In the theme section here, you get to choose the style of the book. All of these themes have different page layouts, different ways they show up, different borders, different colors, different styles. Now you can customize things well beyond what you see here, but this is the easy way to kind of get yourself started. So don't worry about what they call the book, like, oh, this one is travel shots. Listen, you don't have to use it for travel shots. That's just what they called it. And you'll notice kind of a basic idea of what their pages look like. You can see the travel shots one here. It's a nice white background with some pieces of text, lots of space for lots of photos. You'll notice this gallery one, the photos tend to stack next to each other a little more. You look at the portfolio one, it's using the full width of the book frame. You're not getting any frames, everything's full screen. You can see the journal one here with that nice gray background. And again, most of them have different options that you can play with. There are a ton of choices here. In fact, there's such a ton of choices. Frank and I were talking, they added about 20 in the last month that I didn't know were here. I just built a book back in November. So I'm shocked by some of the new ones. I thought the bento box one looked great. The one that I chose for what we're doing here is this one here called From the Heart. And you'll see there's two different versions of it. There's one that's white, there's one that's black. I'm going to click the black one here just because I already played with the white one. I'm going to go ahead and select it. It brings me into the layout. Now we get into the next part. You get to choose whether you're going to manually put the photos in or whether you're going to have it do what's called autoflow. Autoflow will take your photo album in order and drop pictures in as best as it can in that order. It will work to not have duplicate pictures next to each other, but that's what the cleanup phase in part one was really for. In addition, you'll see on the screen I've got this little minus button. If I click that minus button, I can see a bird's eye view of all of the pages that we've got. When we do the autoflow in a moment, that'll make more sense. If I click the plus button, I can zoom in even more into a specific section on a specific page. Down below, I can navigate to any one of these pages. And again, if I have the minus button on, I can see two pages back to back. If I click the plus button, it's really meant to kind of get you onto one of those pages specifically. But before we do any of that, we've got to get this book set up and ready. So we're going to come in here to where it says Photos. And we're going to click where it says autofill. The autofill will bring up the pictures and we'll be like, hey, how many do you want to use? I'm going to select all of them because hopefully we've already cleaned up our album. And I'm going to click autofill in the upper right hand corner. And it's going to plant these pictures all over the book. Now I'm going to zoom back out. This is our 90s. Just a little more easy to build a book because again, take any of the dragging them into any other than taking the cheat control. One level deeper. Let's start by style it. Now, here we've got the birthday, right? Hearing me?
I don't know if you can hear me.
You hear me?
Having tech glitches.
Yep. Hold on. Better. Better.
People can hear Dylan.
Better.
Something's awry. So Dylan, why don't you
Better
log?
now?
Oh, now it's better.
Good. Okay. I found the problem.
You found the problem? Okay, good.
Yep. Yep.
So guys, let us know if you can hear us both okay now.
Yep. All right. So I'm going to take one step back because we know we're having some audio issues here.
Alyssa's telling us it's not much better. So is Bonnie.
Still choppy.
Yeah, you sound a little tinny now.
I'm on my AirPods. Switched over to try and help with the audio sync.
Okay.
Try and switch back.
Well, I think we're getting okays now.
Okay. Let's keep going then.
You sound good.
Good. Well, I switched back to the right microphone now.
Oh, okay.
Okay. We're going to assume we're working. We're going to come back in here. So when we're in this view here, where you've got all of the pages, you can easily move a set of pages by clicking the arrows and just repositioning it anywhere you want, or you can take a specific page and move that specific page around within the book. We're going to zoom in here, and we're going to go to our front page. I'm going to zoom in one more step so I can get nice and close to this image here. And here the fun part is, it's auto-filled all these pictures, but it took them from the beginning of the event before my dad was even out at the party yet. So instead of a picture of happy 85th birthday to my dad, we got a bunch of pictures of me and my wife and my brother-in-law kind of stepping in here. So instead, we're gonna start to change those. This is where you get to customize the pictures that show up on the book. Come over to your right sidebar and click on Photos, and you have a couple of choices. First off, you have all photos, or you can see all the photos that were used or all the photos that were unused. In this case, all the photos are in the book, so we're going to leave it on the all photos section, but I'm going to specifically look for pictures of my dad. So here's one of my dad, and I'm going to drag that and drop it right into the center here. And now I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger using this little arrow here. Okay, that's the first one. Let's go find another one of my dad. We'll grab, let's find the next one. It's my dad looking. Oh, replaced it with the wrong one. Let me see if I can do that the other way around. Hold on. Okay, so take this one. We're going to drop that into this section here. He doesn't look happy, but that was intentional. And we'll come in and grab another picture here. And the idea being, as you jump and as you grab these separate pictures, you can easily position them anywhere onto these pages that you like and customize them. Clicking on them can allow you to resize them, can allow you to edit them, can allow you to change them or move them around within the image. So you can easily customize this entire page and make it beautiful for you to work with. In addition to doing that, we're going to come down, we're going to go on to one of these other pages here. You also have additional options. So on this page, we can see that it's just got one photo. Well, that's going to make this book 1,000 pages long. And if you can see in the upper right-hand corner, it's saying this is currently a $500 book. That's because of how many pages are one image at a time. So you can easily come in to any page and click the layout button, and you can change what that layout looks like. So in this case, I'm going to bring this up as 4 pictures instead and plant that over onto here. And now I can immediately change this into not just being one picture, but I can come back to my photos and I can grab other pictures in and drag them around. You can see that these photos are kind of shaped a specific way, so I might have to come in and zoom in a little bit. use the little hand to position people properly, but with not very much time or effort, you can easily customize this page and every page out in any way that you want to. So you have that control over how everything looks, and you can easily shift from one layout to another. And if you do a bunch of layouts, for example, let's come in here, let's take page 2, let's assume that I want a different layout for page 2, and we're going to do some of the layouts that have text. We're going to take this one here, and it immediately changes the way the pictures look. But what's great is once you've changed a bunch of these images over into different styles, you can come back into your photo section and you can autofill it again. And it will go back through all of the pictures using your new format and replace the open pages with new images based on that new layout. You can see down below here, you've also got an ability to add text on a lot of these pages, and you can customize them in any way you want. In addition to all of that, which to me there's a lot of great tools here. In addition to all of that, you also have the ability to change your background. So as I come into the background section, I can come into any color I want here, and we can completely transform the background of any page or any set of the book. In addition to those backgrounds, there's also textures that you can add. Here are the designer pick textures, and that can add a little style to it and can also allow you to change the color of how those specific backgrounds look to make it look like whatever you want. Now, all of that is great, and I love that it's cookie cutter simple, drag and drop, grab your layouts, autofill, whatever you need to do. But you can also come into any given picture, and by clicking the transform button, you can actually change where the picture is or crop it and fix it into any way that you like to make it easy for you to make the picture exactly the way you want it and really, really specialize it. Even if a particular picture needs to be a different size because there's too many people in that picture, you can come over and you can even do it in a way that allows you to stack pictures on top of each other as if they were photographs lying on a desk. It's kind of scattered around each other. We'll grab this one here. I'm going to crop the bottom of that. I'm going to move this one over here. And you can take the templates they've got and make it your own style and do whatever you want with it. In addition to that, on the right side here, you've always got the ability to create text. So if there's a text box, and we can see on this one here, there's a text box, and we're going to say, give me my cursor. Come on. Didn't want me to type it. I don't know why it's not letting me type. Yeah, did not want to let me type that.
A few things happening today.
I don't know why. Yeah, I can't even blame Mercury retrograde on that. But the idea being that you can come in and you can grab a text box, either adding it to an existing box, or you can create a brand new text box anywhere. If it'll let me. It does not want me to type. It's decided typing is not in the cards for me today, which is fine. We'll just ignore that. But you can take those text boxes and position them and place them anywhere you want. So on this right side, you've got all these great options where you can change your theme, change the book type you've got, add your photos, move them around anywhere you want, grab text, place it where you want, change the layout into different styles, change the background to different colors or patterns or themes, change the border of particular pages with the way the photos actually look, whether you have a border around them or not. You have a lot of choices and options that really allow you to come in and make this however you want it to look super, super, super easily. So that's phase 2. Phase 2 is all about perfecting your book, adding the pages you want, reorganizing the pictures that you want. If you find something you want somewhere else, just move it over. It'll automatically sync things up for you, and you have complete control over how everything looks and every little piece of it, which I find to be just a super fun way to do it. And that's going to get us to stage 3. I'm talking about stage 3 right now. We're kind of going to blend these two things together. Once you've got your book and you've set it up and it's the right amount of pages and it's the right photos. Or there's one other thing I should show, which is if you're inside of a photo and you need to edit the photo, we'll use this one as an example. I can click the edit button and it will open that photo up inside my photos library, allowing me to use all of the photo editing tools that I have in the Photos app to change the way a picture looks, to crop it, to add a filter if I wanted to, maybe give us a nice silver tone picture or something like that, to completely change it. And when I click done, that image is going to be copied into the photo book, which means that you have, unlike when you're dealing with the photo book online, any changes that you make reflect almost immediately on the book that you're working with, giving you the capability to change and update your style at any time just to make it perfect. Your photo books will get saved into this project section that you see on the left side over here. And as you finish these books, you now are ready for you to print them. Printing them is really, really easy. In the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see the buy button. Obviously, this book's too many pages. I don't want to spend $600 on this book, but for this example, clicking the buy button, it'll give you any warnings if there's photo placeholders or empty text. You can say never mind and go ahead and add it to the cart anyways. Also, under the share button here, you can send out a link directly to this album, which other people can purchase. So if you make this great photo book for your family reunion, you don't have to buy copies for everyone. You can create it, send them a link, and then they can purchase it themselves or download it themselves really easily. Keep in mind, if you're going to share it and then you make changes, the changes will not affect the people that have been shared. So you want to get everything done before you publish it, before you share it, before you print it out. You want to make sure that everything's ready for you and in the right place. Okay. Get back into the project here. And it's that easy to jump in, print it. They send it out super high quality. It takes about 10 days for it to get to you. If you have questions or problems, you can hit the support button. They have an immediate chat that you can get right into. And you can also hit the preview button to get a good view of how this entire book is going to look, page by page, section by section, making it easy for you to create a book of memories in minutes rather than months. And that takes us to the end of our third phase there, Frank. In a moment, I just want to drop my power tip, but I want to make sure we've gotten our smart guide and anything else that we need to do before we come back and finish up that power tip.
No, I'm with you. It's definitely a smart guide time. I love how the black background works with the gold. It's pretty sharp.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it was an intentional choice. You know, we created the photo booth. When I created it, I made it so that it had this nice black and gold background. It's very classy kind of style. And you kind of see here, this is what the photos look like when you have them, when that photo booth comes out. It puts all 4 photos together, giving you a nice little happy birthday and some fireworks effects on the background. If anybody's interested in more about how I create these photo booths, not the photo book, let me know and maybe we'll do a live specifically on that, because that to me is one of my best uses of the iPad, and it's super easy to do once you know how. That's
cool. All right, let's bring up the smart guide.
Today's smart guide is hot off the presses.
Go ahead. Yeah, everybody was. I was getting a flurry of emails today and making sure that we had it. So thanks to everybody on the team for making this work. It came out excellent. As I've mentioned before, the team really enjoys putting these together, and they just seem to be getting better and better. So this is all about camera and photos. So please, again, that's our gift to you. Download, share with your friends. You can use that QR code. We also have a short URL. Let me put the link in the chat for everybody so you can download that without using the QR code if that's easier for you. And while we're doing that, Dylan, why don't we also talk about the membership to the MacWhisperer that we only really make available here, not the membership itself, but the 30-day free. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about what that includes. I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody tomorrow.
Yeah,
the floor is yours.
For those of you who don't know, there's lots of ways that you can work with me. It's not just YouTube videos. I like to work with people one-on-one, but I also like to work in these group environments. Group environments are really valuable because the problems, the challenges, the issues that you have, you're not alone. There are a lot of other people that are at the exact same level of technology that you are that are struggling with the same things. So by bringing people of a like level of technology together in these classes, we create a community where we all are supporting each other and learning more and pushing our knowledge further. The things I do on my live broadcasts here on the YouTube channel are great, but I consider them passive. You can't really ask a ton of questions. You can't really work with me specifically when we're doing this live broadcast. That's not the same. But when we do our live classes, which happen twice a month, it's done on Zoom. I can see everybody. They can see me. We can work together. We work together on the chats, and I go through the lessons like what we're talking about here, but way more in depth and slower, stopping for questions, making sure that nobody gets left behind. The membership is $100 per month. It gives you 2 classes every month, 2 hours long each, on a different topic each month. In addition to that, it gives you 2 one-hour Q&A sessions over the course of the month where you can bring any problem, any question, any challenge that you've got. You got a new phone, you don't know how to use it, you're wondering which iPad to buy for your son. These are questions I get in the Q&A on a regular basis. So the membership is like leveling up what we're doing here. Stop the passive learning where you're watching something and maybe doing it on your own a little bit, and get into the place where we're working on your stuff together in real time. You're getting questions answered and you're propelling your technology forward. You saw me share a couple of what I call foundation blocks on this call. They happen all the time, little things that everybody should know, but most people don't. That's really where the membership shines, making sure that you have your foundation blocks in place and you can build whatever you want on top of that foundation. So we've got a special discount, a 30-day free trial of the membership. Our next live class is tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 9 to 11 Pacific time. And anybody who signs up for this 30-day free can come join us there tomorrow. Tomorrow we are starting off the year by teaching you how to use Apple tools to create goals and habit tracking that will that you'll get great advantage of throughout the entire year of 2025. So there's a lot of awesome pieces that are really going to help you in getting yourself set up on the right foot. So if you're interested, grab hold of this 30-day free offer. We really only do the 30-day free offer on our live broadcasts. There's a ton of new members that have just joined in the last month, and we're looking forward to February where we will start a second class on a separate day outside of Fridays to make this available to even more people.
It's great. I really enjoy the classroom setting, the Zoom setting, and like you said, being able to ask you questions directly, and we really do have a good time. I am really looking forward to it tomorrow. I haven't seen anybody in a while. Manny just chimed in. He's getting excited for tomorrow, so I'm going to put my email in here. Anybody that's thinking about becoming a member, just email me. You can get an invite. And we can have you on board. That way you can see firsthand what's going on. I think that's it. Let's bring back the QR code one more time, and then we'll get back to the rest of today's live. And again, today's all about, or this smart guide's all about cameras and photo app. All right, bring the computer back up.
Yep.
Or are you going to be doing your power tip shortly after that?
Yeah, let's bring up the computer. I'm going to do the power tips right here. We're going to talk about it. So the thing about making photo books, as you can see in this upper right-hand corner, this is an expensive book. It's a high-quality book printed the way we've got it printed. It's probably too many pages, and we could probably cut that price down closer to $250 with a little bit of work on it. But regardless, photo books can be really expensive, especially if you print them from the person that you're building them from. Remember, this company, Mimeo, they don't make any money on the software. They're only making the money on the book. But there's lots of other places that can print books. So once you've designed this book, what can you do with it in order to A, save it and back it up somewhere, and B, make sure you can reprint it again at a better price? And it's right here, the save button right here, that's hiding in plain view. If you click on that little arrow to the right, you will get the option to export your project as a PDF. And that export is something that you can send to Kinko's, to anyone you want to have a high quality photo book printed up as well. But you are able to use this program to create the layout, create the style, to create all the pieces, and then just export that. You can save it as a digital photo book, or you can have it printed at hundreds of different places, including Canva, including Shutterfly, including some of the places that you would build the book on online, like Blurb, but without having to use their clunky web tools to do it. So just know that that export PDF capability is gold. And that's my power tip for today, because the number of times I've had people that either lost a project because they never backed it up, 15 years ago, back when it was an iPhoto project and they didn't realize it would break, or people that want to reprint and reprint and reprint their same books. My mom did a book of poetry this year and ended up making a copy for everybody for Christmas. And I thought to myself, if she just had known this tool beforehand, she would have probably saved couple $100 on those printings. So that's the power tip, is you don't have to stick with the company that you made the book with. You can export that PDF, save it, and have it printed elsewhere anytime you want.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. Yeah. Ready for some questions? We've got a bunch.
Bring them. Let's go.
Okay. Let's bring up Marley.
You want to keep the computer screen up?
No, let's bring it down.
This is a great question. It's a great question. No, leave this up.
Leave it up? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to respond to Marilee directly on this, but I want you to know this is a question I get all the time. And it usually comes from people who were using a different Photos program, or were using Google Photos or something else. They just don't understand how the Apple Photos program works. Here's the way it works. Every photo that you have is in your library. Whether it's a screenshot, whether it's a picture you took, whether it's an old picture you imported, they all live in the library, organized by year, months, and all photos. You can also search for any pictures to find them. Once you have it in the library, you can create albums of any collection of those photos by clicking the plus button next to album here. We'll just create this. We'll call this, this is Marilee. This is for Marilee here. And then what I do is you can take any pictures you want from your library and add them into the album. But these are not duplicates. These are not copies. These are not taking up additional space. The way Google Photos and a lot of other Photos books work is that the library and the albums are connected. So when you put something in the library, when you put something in an album, it's removed from the library, which means if I want it in two albums, I want it in a 2024 photo book album, and I want it in a Dad's Birthday January 1st album, that same picture needs to be duplicated in those other systems, because the library doesn't hold everything. The albums in the library share stuff, which seems like a good idea until you make 40,000 albums and you've got the same pictures in 40,000 places. In the Apple system, your library is your everything, and the albums and folders are subsections of the library. They are not duplicates. So when I've made my Dad's 85th, and just for reference, I did that before the call too, you'll notice there's 204 pictures here and there's 200 pictures here. None of those are duplicates. Those are all just the original pictures from the library without my having to make copies. And this means that you can create 10,000 albums with the same photo, and that photo only needs to be represented once and is only taking up the space once. Many people have asked me, is there a way to empty out the library as you put things into albums and folders so that you know what has not been filed? You cannot do that on the iPhone and the iPad yet, but on the computer you can do it by creating a smart album and setting the rule for the smart album to album is not any. And it will show any of the pictures that have not been put away into this album. I'll call this the unsorted album. And here are pictures that I have not put away. If I take any of those pictures, and actually will put some of these away because I don't need this whole set here. If I take these pictures and I move them into any album, they disappear from the unsorted section, but they're still in the library. The library is your everything. Everything is organized there, no matter what album you feel like storing it in. And this is a plus and a minus. If you never organize anything, your library is going to be really, really hard to manage. If you put things away in a logical way, you can quickly come into any one of your folders or albums and find all the pictures you're looking for in a couple of clicks. With the new iOS 18 Photos app, a lot of people got really upset with Apple because they were used to using something called the camera roll, and none of them had paid attention to the library. So they're mad because Apple forced them to look at the library. Just organize your library. It's not that hard. And when you have that set, it means that you can find any picture you want by using the people and pets section, by using your albums, by using folders or smart folders, and suddenly it's easy to find what you're looking for. Last piece of that, and then I'm going to take any other questions we got. I know it was a long answer, but it's an important one. If you want to know how I built a slideshow of over 2,000 photos of my dad in a matter of minutes while driving, I came into my people and pets section, and I went into my dad's photo album, which has all the pictures that it knows are my dad, thousands of them, dating back all the way to when he was just a wee young man. And in that way, I was able to create a slideshow right from here, grabbing all of those pictures, right-clicking, and going into Create Slideshow. And all of a sudden, oh, instant slideshow. The albums and the libraries are integrated in such a beautiful way in the Photos app that allows you to do whatever you want without having to worry about all the duplicates. I hope that answers that question. Maybe it over-answered it.
That was awesome. Marilee's also converting from Windows to Apple. Looks like she's buying a new computer, so she's debating on becoming a member. Marilee, email me. I'll invite you tomorrow. I handpick a few people every week. They come as guests, so please don't hesitate. Let's see.
Marilee, there's a lot of challenges that you can have with that transition, and it's not because Apple is hard. It's because you've been doing things in a complicated, convoluted way on your Windows system, not knowing that there's an easier way. You can figure your way out, but consider me your tech Sherpa. Let's make it easy.
Yeah. I have a great story. I think it's a great story how I moved to Apple, but maybe I'll share it tomorrow, another time. Gene's asking, does it help in what you're creating to name the photos? The metadata question.
It doesn't hurt to name photos. It just, in my opinion, doesn't help that much because the search is so smart. If I come into search here, get out of people and pets for a moment. If I come into the search here and I search for bird, right? Like I didn't name anything with the word bird. Immediately it found pictures of birds. Did I need to name all of them? Here's my son when he's young playing with birds. Like, you can title them all, but you really don't need to. It's not really going to help. What helps the organization is not the titling. It's creating your albums and your folders to organize stuff. And I want you to recognize, I have 70,000 pictures, right? Do you see this laundry list of albums on the left side? No. I've got my personal folder, my family folder. I've got holidays and events, friends, home, nature, travel, and work. And within each of these folders are albums that allow me to quickly get to a particular set of photos. This was the first MacWhisperer photo shoot, just in case anybody wants it. Yes, I had hair. I had hair when I started this
Look
business. At that. The work of organizing into albums and folders is better to me than titling. You can still title. You can also use keywords and captions and all these things, but I just find it amazing if I come into this search bar and I type something like boats, I get pictures of boats. I didn't have to jump through and make it complicated. How about a waterfall? Would you like a picture of a waterfall? Let's see. There are pictures of waterfalls. How long did that take me? How long does it take you to title things? I'm not saying don't title things, Gene. I'm just saying it's not the first step. The first step is put things into albums. The sorting and searching tools that are built in are phenomenal, and the ability to have your people and pets properly organized is automatic and doesn't require you to name anybody. So that's my answer to that question.
Great. Let's take one more. One of our YouTube members, James, is looking. Oh, let me add it. James is looking for some insight on Google Takeout.
James, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's a mess. It's super, super, super complicated to get them out of Google. I just did a project with someone who had used Google Photos for their whole life. They had 10 years of photos in there. Even using Google Takeout, it couldn't, there was too many pictures for it. It tried to break it into 14 separate subsections and it failed. We spent 2 months trying to do it and then decided we had to go album by album, photo by photo, and manually download them from the Google website, and it lost all the metadata. It lost the location, it lost the what album it was a part of, it lost, every piece of it broke along the way. So I just have to say, if you've been using Google Photos, get out now. Get out as quickly as you can. Never go back to it. Once you are in the Apple ecosystem, doing Google Photos is like a backward step with your eyes closed on next to a cliff. Good luck. And there are a bunch of tools that can help you do it, but the end result is get them out. Whatever you have to do, get them into Apple Photos and turn Google Photos off everywhere, because it is duplicating stuff, and in some cases it may be removing it from your Apple Photos library instead of leaving it where it belongs. So the same is true for Amazon Photos. The reasons for not using Apple Photos are, I don't feel like paying the money. That's the reason. And to me, it's not that much money. I understand that iCloud is not free, but 99 cents a month, $3 a month, it's not going to kill anybody. And it's going to save you so much time and effort as you're seeing by trying to pull them off of Google. You're like, oh, I'm in the wrong place. Get out. Get out as quickly as you can. And if you need help, let me know. We'll do a little bit of a one-on-one or something, and I can help you tweak it. But for sure, it gets complicated. Frank, did I lose you?
I was clicking around with the comments, and I accidentally deleted myself. James is a prime candidate for membership. James, email me. I give out a certain amount of invitations to the live classes. Reach out to me if you'd like. For the YouTube members, your priority, your questions do come up first. I know we got a bunch of others, but unfortunately we didn't have time, and we do have the members come up first. That's all I got today, Dylan. It was good to get back into the swing. I'm looking forward to next week, looking forward to tomorrow, and you want to close things out?
Yeah, I want to start off by saying thank you for being here. And what I mean by that is it takes a level of awareness to recognize what you don't know. And it takes bravery and courage to try and figure out what you don't know. You're in the right place. I can help guide you. I can help make this easier for you. So if you like these live broadcasts, if you like my YouTube videos, consider becoming a member. Consider reaching out to either Frank or I directly, and we can bring you into one of the live classes and give you that experience. But this is a new year. It's a new opportunity for you to get your technology handled. I have so many clients that say, I'm a technophobe, I'm a Luddite, I don't know, I'm so afraid of it all. It's not gonna ever be easier than it is right now. This is your moment. This is your time. It's not complicated when you have the right teacher guiding you through it and giving you the right steps to take. So let me be that teacher. Thank you for being here. Thank you for downloading our cheat sheets and our smart guides and joining in the membership. And we love you. And I look forward to, I'm going to do a member live video maybe this weekend. So if you are a member, keep your eyes open for that. And otherwise, I'll see you all next week. Happy New Year.